teaching and the feeling that you get out of that, which eventually becomes a habit in you, then you like it, and then it becomes a part of your ethical daily things to do. You find it unethical not to teach somebody about Baha'i faith, then you act on it, then you become the Baha'i teacher. Huge attributes, thousands of attributes come through it. Almost all the attributes come through it. So having information about Baha'i faith, having the knowledge about Baha'i faith and not acting upon it causes also, it may be the source of the lack of understanding, a spiritual understanding. Okay. Number 5 in the same category is that, okay, you got some information about the Baha'i faith, you went and studied, you got the knowledge, now you've been teaching, acting upon. But after a few years, for whatever your damn reasons is, you just give it up. You're not engaged in it anymore. That would also bring lack of understanding. It's like a little seedling. For many years, you threw water on it, now it's becoming a little seedling. But then all of a sudden you stop feeding it and giving water to it. So the whole thing will die on you. And it's very hard to start again. We are in a situation as a human being, because we're not infallible, our line of progress is like this. We gotta go up. The time we stop, we're not stopping, we're going down. There's no stoppage in this. Prophet of God are born here and they go straight. They can't descend down to the realm of humanity. I know. But we are different. We can go to the same plane as they are, but we have to keep going. There's no stoppage. The peak is only when you die. You know, that was your peak when you're dead. Not until then. Even in the last seconds, last microseconds, Baha'u'llah says you may go to hell. You may nullify everything that you have had. So, I've written here that we have to understand the spiritual understanding as the decisions that we make. The spiritual leaders, mullahs, ayatollahs, they may lead us to the mistakes, to ignorance, to oblivion, but they cannot stop us from understanding it. I gave you last night the example of thousands of others in Isfahan, in the city of Isfahan. They were misled by the ayatollahs and mullahs, but this guy job was sifting, wheat. He's a very simple man. He understood it. Because spiritual unity, like all other spiritual attributes, is a personal decisions that you make. Okay? To know more, to understand more. They can't stop you. Okay? So this takes me to number 7, that I just was saying that it's finally our decisions to wanting to understand more, to know more. But if we do not do this for a long time, we haven't been giving any money to anybody. We haven't been helping anybody, serving anybody for such a long, long time. We never started as a young man to do this. All of a sudden at age 50, 60, 70, you think we can go and change ourselves and start to do this? How would you change the Scrooge to change his life? I know Charles Dickens' story, enormous story, says that how a Scrooge changed. Therefore, it's almost impossible. Spirituality is muscles. If those muscles, they don't do workout, which is giving again, learning to be detached from what you like to give to others, you want to stick to it and keep it, you just become greedier and harder, your muscles become stiffer. So we ourselves can be the cause of lack of this understanding, because our personal decision was in the life that to prefer materialism over the spirituality, which directly relates to people. We decided not to do that. So us, ourselves, could be the source and the great obstacle for lack of understanding. So I've written another one that is also a huge source, really. And then I have to recap everything that causes this lack of understanding. Is when we stop defending the truth. We stop defending the wronged ones. If the truth is in front of us and we see it, we don't try to defend it. We see the guys beaten up at any circumstances, doesn't matter. We saw somebody is being wronged, accused of wrong things. He's helpless. And people are beating him up. There's so many of it around the world, you know. We don't defend the truth. We know racism is wrong, but we don't do anything about it. If we don't do these things, in the course of time, we again become complacent and lazy. Because when you defend the truth, you'll have to pay the price. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's reputation, sometimes it's infliction and pain. It might end up even jail, it might end up even martyrdom. So the pain and the suffering that is caused by you defending the truth becomes the fuel for your spiritual understanding. Very, very, very important. Without it, we will not get anywhere. But be careful though. When we're talking about pain, sometimes people say, okay, let me just go invent some pain. No. Primarily, we're not aiming towards the pain. We should not be aiming towards the pain. We don't want pain. No one should want pain. Pain that in some of the religions, especially Hinduism, even Buddhism, and some of the new ones, they're trying to create pain and suffering. Even some of the monks in Christianity, they were doing that. Those kind of things doesn't get you anywhere. The pain, if you're looking for pain, then you're a masochist. You're a masochist, you know. When inflicted pain, you're a sadist. You're not aiming for the pain. You're aiming to defend the truth. You really are looking for peace. You really see somebody is downtrodden. You want to help him. How great are Canadians in this regard? You remember the story of this Mahar Arar, the Syrian engineer. The poor guy was wrongly accused of terrorism, and he had a problem. And he was in US, wanted to come to Canada. They wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him, and some, elements are always bad people in every culture. They took him out back to Syria. He was tortured, prosecuted by the Syrian, by their own people. But she, the wife, got up in Quebec, the province of Quebec, and other places, of course. She went and asked people to help. And, my God, overwhelming Canadians, many, many Canadians, they came to help her. Create big class action suit. And the government of Canada apologized to him. The chief of the RCMP had to resign, and he was given a huge sum of money. which I really disagree with it. It had to be a lot smaller than that. But where this could be possibly happening in the world? Very few places. Not in Iran, not in many countries. In Canada, that can happen, see? So this is the nation of God. By the new definition that I have, or at least this is the country where the primordial soup is being made for a new world order, a new society, a new brand of humanity. So these are some of the reflections that I had, about 8 of them, that if we do not have and do not care about, to think about and reflect on, it causes misunderstanding, misunderstanding of the situations. And so there are thousands of it, the examples that I don't want to refer, but if you read the Baha'i videos, there's so many of them, that all of them, they were wrong, not understanding themselves, not understanding their fellow human being, and they cause problem. Very well. It was a very short speech tonight, but I think it summed it up, that what is this lack of a spiritual understanding is. Well, may God be with you. Till the next time.